Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Gold Reaper. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all of that good stuff. Where are we going to lurk? We're not going to lurk. We have a Reinhardt and a Sigma. Are we just going to play Frontline Reaper and Shield Pressure? What are we doing? If you're playing Shield Pressure, yeah, you can shoot at that range. I don't want you here. I like off-angling, but if you're going to off-angle as Reaper, it's not like it's wrong to ever take an off-angle without a shield, but like you're looking to go, hey, I can pressure through the shield, or you're looking to like have actual cover that you're using to be like, hey, I punish you as you walk in. Those aren't your only options, but I certainly wouldn't want to leave yourself open with a hog on the other team. That was always going to happen. Like, you could have been hooked, eliminated, hooked, shot, flashed, shot. Like, that was not good. More work time temporal. Sounds good. Sounds good, Congaboom. Works for me. Wait a second. Wait a second. You've revealed too early. What do you... Why? Okay. Dear Gold Reaper, stop jumping. This isn't as bad as the Anna we did a couple days ago, but yes, this is got a lot of jumping. A lot of jumping. Oof. It's pretty bad though. So you are going to want to keep your tent. What are you doing? I don't care that you have that. Like, ugh. Okay. I really hope they don't take advantage of the respawn time differential. Okay, we got the res. Good. No, we didn't get the res.
Let's try that again. Hey.
So that's not amazing because we're in this situation where, yes, you got multiple eliminations, but they come back faster than you do. And they're correctly, sort of, at least before they lost McCree, trying to take advantage. Oh no. They were correctly trying to take advantage, it seems, and push in that couple second gap that they're going to have between when all of their team respawns and when you get back. And your Lucio tried to patch that over with beat, but it wasn't enough. Did we really? Oh, that's way too big a rewind. Okay. Sure. It was a wide swing to deal with this ball. Like, you could have stayed much tighter on this corner, wandering up. Like, you knew this was always a possibility, and you wanted to stay tighter on this corner so that you could work your way into this corner. You didn't need to swing out into the open to deal with this ball. Oh, the jumping. You're just giving McCree such easy shots. Using the Sigma barrier. You're going to shoot the Mercy twice, or are you going to stay on the Cree? Shouldn't have taken 3 shots, but okay. You're going to... Okay. I think you were going to press Q there, and I'm kind of glad you didn't get to.
Back from K. High.
I love that he's also had his strafing and wraith form, right? Gotta make sure you don't get hit as a wraith.
New defense point. Objective B.
Observe the barrier. Hold together.
I heard that Reaper's a good hero to transition to if you like playing Kree. Is that true? What people are probably referring to is McCree. A big part of Kree's aiming is hitting flicks, and Reaper's aiming is also heavily about hitting flicks. So they use the same style of aiming. They're both hit scan heroes that are both fairly heavily reliant on their flicks. So if you want a hero that if you are like, hey, I play a McCree, I'm comfortable with McCree, and I want to branch out with similar aim styles but get more heroes in my kit, yeah, he's a fairly easy one to add in that sense. In other ways, he plays very different than Kree, but at least his aiming style is similar to Kree in that it's heavily flick based. Yeah, mine is our ouchie Gold Reaper. That's true. That's true. You don't have much respect for this Roadhog. Like, I mostly want you going, I'm shooting through the Rhine shield. I know I constantly go on about how Rhine isn't a firing platform, and he's not. But if he's going to give you the opportunity, you can use it. Or you can be like, I'm going to lurk here, and when they walk through, I'm going to enforce. And maybe I gently peek angles. Not I wide peek angles, unless I have a Rhine shield. Not I wide peek angles, but like, hey, maybe I gently peek angles, or I just lurk and force, and when you come up, I two-shot you before you even realize I'm here. I two-shot you as you see my team this way, you try to walk this way, I go boom, or I apply pressure to you when we actually get into a shield war as my Rhine is advancing. You know, as my Rhine is advancing type thing, oh, we get close, and now I'm willing to go wherever I want in the fight because we're actually in a brawl situation. But I don't really like how much you're giving them in poke phases opportunities to hook you, to be perfectly honest. It's too much. What? 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 That should not have worked. That should not have remotely worked. Here we are. Roadhog's breather is over, so we're teleporting into a very easy setup. He chose to hook here. You'd started your teleport before he hooked. So you teleported before you knew hook wasn't available to him. He could have just lined up a left click or lined up a hook and like absolutely destroyed you on this teleport.
Repositioning.
You take one shot, two shot, and then you're like, nope, it's Blossom time. And I guess Blossom is okay in the sense of, hey, he doesn't have hooks, so I can do this. Yeah, in that sense, it's okay to Blossom now. And then you'll fall here, and if your team is on it, they'll push. Your team is actually too far back and can't push, but you probably think your team is here. And if you were here, this would be a reasonable Blossom. But, like, it's the teleport before he's hooked. It's really the teleport even after he's hooked is still like, hey, he could just left click you as your teleport ends as long as he knows when your iframes end. And you'd just be like completely gone. And then you go for this, and this doesn't really bother me, except that your team is back here, and it's all on you to get these. You've got no support. But you probably still think your team is here, so I'll live. It's fine.
From the shadows.
That's fine. So you lurk on a corner, or you use the fact that Sigma exists. Okay, hook's gone. That's a big deal. Sure. Push into it. I'm good. And then you race out. You didn't have to race out that hard. You literally could have raced out to here and just been like, I still want to know what's going on type thing. Because you might want to still contribute after your wraith is over. Oh, the jumping. It's a wide open space that you're playing in as Reaper. I don't like it. Adam Nicholas with the $2.99 super chat says temporal sucks. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for the super chat. This is better. Where was this play the rest of your game? Like, you're here, you go, hey, we're doing this. I'm fighting the thing at close range. I'm working myself over to an angle. This is exactly what we want. We're here. We're like, hey, now I have this nice angle. Did we need the enemies to drop mines for you to play from the appropriate position? Because, like, the enemies drop mines, and now you're playing from the corner. You're playing from the corner poking in. You're making it like I can poke in like this if I need to. If the enemies walk in, I'm right on top of them. Like, this is a great place to play as Reaper. Kong Boom, does Adam Nicholas's $2.99 super chat that says temporal sucks confuse you? I understand, it's confusing. I would be offended if you tipped $2.98 and said that thing, but since it's $2.99, that's sufficient. He doesn't want me to make fun of him going down to the mines again. And then Adam again says temporal sucks. Okay. This is great. Keep hanging left here.
Survived.
Sure.
I need healing.
You need to end this a little more out of the fight. Don't end this Wraith in the middle. This isn't what I wanted. So she's got her Velt going. You could have perfectly reasonably ended this up here. You actually got knocked up and could have ended your Wraith up here. And wouldn't that have been a thing? And my second preference would have been still for you to end it over here, not for you to end it here, which is kind of in the open. We don't really like that. We need you to get a little bit more hay where your angle has cover options. Adam will spend his money to let society know that, you know, to let society know about temporal. Such a weird hill to die on. It's our other Conga. Congox. Such a weird hill to die on. Both Congas are in the chat. Push back on. Push back on. Okay.
Tactical visor activated. What is that melody?
This is my curse. Repositioning.
The middle is not... Yes, the middle of the point isn't where you hang out. Unless the fight's truly in a brawl phase, which it sort of was, but they've got a backline that's not there, so you'd really prefer to play a little more on the sides.
Thanks.
Our Congas are fighting over which one's the real deal. Okay. And who's the imposter?
Activating the barrier.
Okay. I don't love it, but I can live.
30 seconds.
No, we're definitely not dropping into that. Fine. Why did we Wraith? Now we have to play more passive. Reasonable Blossom. Sure. Reasonable Wraith. Can you angle right? I really don't want you in the middle of this like this. Yes, you've got the barrier, but that's what happens when you're in the middle. Like, I really want you playing more, a little more to the side, a little more to the side, a little more here. Here's a good Reaper spot, yeah? Okay. Temporal bullied his players until they retire. I don't think that one's true, Blah. Oh, excuse me, Adam.
Score 0-1.
Temporal bullied me in school. Yeah, Adam. I think we've been over this. I think we've been over this.
Initiating breach.
Okay, so looking at our Reaper play here, what we're looking at is I really would like you to be a little more willing to play, hey, I'm enforcing corners, I'm lurking corners, like, no, you're not allowed to come in. It's okay for you to do some level of, hey, I'm going to poke. It's especially okay for you to go, oh, hey, my team's throwing up a barrier, I might as well shoot through it type thing, while still having my real corner to close. I'm not going to drift wide into the open, and I'm going to be really careful about these teleports in the open too. And really, I'm just going to stop wide peeking a Roadhog. Like, Roadhog is the best example of why your wide peaks are a problem right now, but wide peeking in general is dangerous and doesn't serve a ton of point on Reaper. Like, you just sort of go, okay, I'm doing a little filler damage right now. I don't want to expose myself much at all for doing filler damage. As they get closer, or if we're in like the middle of a cleanup fight where it's like a 6v6, 5v5, whatever, out in the open, sure, I'm going to wander potentially a little bit, but that's not how most of these fights happen. Most of the time, you want to be setting up in more lurking positions. Even if you go, okay, I'm not going to surprise someone with a lurk, I'm going to turn and poke in. You know, maybe I set up here to be ready to shoot someone who came in like this, and then I go, nah, I'm not willing to wait that long, and I turn and I shoot in. Maybe that's the case. Doesn't need to always be the case, but maybe that's the case. But you still want to be very tight on this cover.
Ready for battle.
Nothing's gonna stop. Look at this team. We're gonna do great.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Okay.
You needed a doctor?
Acknowledge.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Loving this.
Use your Reinhardt's body as cover. Why? What is this accomplishing?
Here they come.
My Reinhardt's asleep. I'd actually like to get behind my Reinhardt so that Fire Meant for Me wakes him up. Truth be told, that's what I'd like to do. Okay, good. Why am I going back left? Why am I going back left and stepping backwards? I'm Reaper. If anything, I want to be getting closer to these guys. Where I really want to be going is getting myself over to here, where I can just be like, oh, I'm crushing you. I'm absolutely crushing you with damage right from here, and your backline can't shoot me. That's where I want to be. I could have drifted behind the Reinhardt for a step to get him woken up, but I definitely didn't want to drift backwards. After getting the Reinhardt woken up, or if I wasn't willing to get the Reinhardt woken up because I thought he was going to take damage anyways, I wanted to drift myself forwards and to the left to get here where I'm really scary. And can potentially transition it into here where I eliminate their backline. That's what I want to do. No back step. Why am I going backwards? Why? Maybe now because my Tracer's eliminated. But, like, can you imagine how hard it would have been for this Reinhardt to advance like he did if I was standing right here? Can you imagine how hard it would be for them to do that? And if they try to turn out to push you, then their shields aren't up, and your team is able to go pew pew and shoot them in the back as they turn to try to deal with you, and you have Wraith to get out if you really need it anyways. Temporal wants to be scary. He wants to scare the children. He's a menace to society. I don't think so. This Reaper really likes Sidebind shields when we'd like him to take more aggressive angles instead. Like, the shields are okay. Such a wide drift. Are you actually willing to push, though? Like, you don't have Blossom. The good news is that Sleep Dart is out and that they don't have a Roadhog anymore, but you have too many people on your team that are eliminated. This is a really aggressive move when so many of them are eliminated. And now we've spent our race. Hopefully we don't need it. Separate! Separate from your Mercy! doing? Why are you wide peeking that? Why are you challenging that at all? You're down teammates. Tuck harder on the wall. Tuck harder on the wall. Harder to the right on the wall. Better. Better. This timing is better. We still don't have Blossom. Okay, you push in. Push in. That right. Drop. Here you are. Great. You've done what you needed to. Your Tracer created a huge opening for you. You're going to drop and go here. And now you have cover against their backline. And you get to shoot their Reinhardt and Sigma at medium close range, really at almost close range, and be like, I do a ton of damage from here. Their backline can't see me. I'm in heaven. You notice how all these spots I'm trying to put you in are like, hey, I can shoot their front line, or if their front line does anything aggressive, I can shoot them, and their backline can't shoot me. And if they don't give me any option, I can open the angle a little bit and still probably shoot their front line without their backline shooting me. And if I have to open the angle a little bit more so their backline can shoot me, it's still really fast for me to close it. Yeah, that's where we're trying to position Reaper in general. You, Lucio, and Tracer are trying so hard right now. Okay. Okay. And I don't mean that as an insult. I know sometimes people it's like, oh, you're trying so hard as an insult. I don't at all mean that as an insult. I'm disappointed that we didn't take advantage of their push. Think of the children, ban temporal. Let's not ban temporal. Let's think of the children and realize that the children, if they were watching this channel, would be better at Overwatch. So we definitely don't want to ban temporal. He seems pretty happy in the open. He's way too happy in the open. But there's a truck in the way for him to shoot from there. Yeah. But there's a truck in the way. Well, there's a truck in the way from him to shoot at the back line, but he doesn't shoot at the back line. He's Reaper. He shoots at the front line unless he takes a flank. The children will be fed Overwatch knowledge. Everyone would be a better person if they knew they can deflect fire strikes. I'm not sure everyone needs that knowledge. Everyone who plays Overwatch needs that knowledge, but I'm not sure everyone needs that knowledge.
Repositioning.
No. What is this engagement timing? My Roadhog just got eliminated. My Reinhardt just got eliminated. Why would I push into this? Why would I walk into this? Now my Tracer's been eliminated. I'm not going to 1v6 these guys or even 3v6 these guys. No. I don't think that's true, Blah. I don't think there's a Feed the Children fund based on every time this Reaper goes to spawn. Maybe there should be, but I don't think there is.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Helden sterben nicht.
So maybe that's the future. Maybe at some point in the future where it's like, oh, okay, and now, you know, for this charity stream, it's going to be based on every time this person gets eliminated. That could be a fun thing. Why did you think this was a good idea? You're here. You teleport up.
Repositioning.
See that? Why? I don't want to blossom for just one person when I have full shots. Like, I can two-shot him regularly. Why am I blossoming here? It's just going to get him, and he's probably going to wraith. He wraithed. Like, why would I blossom for just Reaper? Blossom is good damage, but it's not like super bursty damage. It's fairly high sustained damage. So it's not like, oh, you were one shot by Blossom, you didn't know what happened. You have plenty of time to react to Blossom. So I don't know why you're thinking that Reaper, without having seen his Wraith come out first, is a good target. And honestly, even if you had seen his Wraith come out, if you didn't know that he was already, say, half health, I wouldn't want to Blossom him because he can do a lot of damage back to you to health Siphon himself to sort of help him survive as he gets away from your Blossom. Kind of like you just did. You ultimately raised, but yeah. Yeah.
60 seconds remaining.
What a wasted ult, both of them. Hey, I wasted my ult as Reaper. I'm Reaper 2. Let me show you how to waste an ult. Now, bro, you're right. That's how you waste an ult. Exactly. Exactly. He blossomed there because it was Reaper's due. Teleport to high ground, then drop ult immediately. This is some autopiloting.
Oh, I guess they didn't have
There
enough.
may be a lot of truth to that, Congax.
Justice ain't gonna dispense itself.
A wild Reaper behavior. They just randomly pick their moves when you encounter Reapers in the wild. Now he's on McCree. I guess this Pokemon hasn't been caught by a trainer and been given or been trained into intelligent move usage yet, and just randomly picks between their move list. No, that. He gets health from that. He still gets health when you shoot that shiv. I still would like you to have cover, even as McCree. You position it differently as McCree, but I still would like you to be near cover. The cover I would like you near just changes a little bit. Okay. You have to hit a shot. Good. Fine. Okay. You're role-playing as Reaper, as McCree here, but okay.
Hello.
Am I the Pokemon trainer in this situation? I suppose so.
New defense point. Objective B.
I don't remember switching Pokemon from Reaper to McCree. I don't remember going, Reaper return, let's send out McCree. Maybe I should have. Let's look at their comp. Yeah, I'm okay sending out the McCree in this situation. And of course he steps in the trap. Okay. Oh, high ground. I like it. So now I want to deal with the other guy on high ground. I don't want to shoot at the Rhine Shield. The Reaper's gone. We got that out. We're going to deal with the McCree on high ground because that's the most threatening person. Why am I rolling out and dropping? I had full ammo. I had full health. I mean, I didn't have full health, full ammo before the roll, but... No, I'm not bringing my crosshair down again. I'm not interested in this. I'm much more interested in checking this guy, making this guy drop, making this guy lose some health, making this guy go behind cover. I need to decrease his contribution, not the Lucio, the McCree behind him. I need to decrease his contribution to the fight. I can do that by eliminating him. I can do that by doing damage to him so he plays safer, or I can even do that but just by putting some pressure on him. Even me missing shots at him, if he realizes I'm missing shots at him, will at least put some pressure on him, and him shooting back at me, or him sort of being worried about me and strafe moving, is at least going to make it easier for my team to win. At least. It's better than me shooting at the Rhine Shield.
Rocket barrage incoming.
Why would I drop? Why would I drop? That Reinhardt was 100% eliminatable from the high ground. Fortunately, your mirror also dropped. I like how you're shooting Reaper in the ankles. Okay. Now we're thinking about some higher shots. Yeah. So, you had him. Nano or not, you had him.
Party
If...
on the objective. Who's in?
Oh, he's there. He's Nano Blossoming. That is scary. It's a Nano Blossom. Fortunately, he doesn't have speed. We're shooting him in the waist. We're shooting him in the ankles. We're shooting him in the ankles. Oh, we hit a headshot because he's bouncing. We're shooting him, you know, in the tummy, the waist, really. Okay, that's a reasonably placed shot. It's a tiny bit low, but it's reasonably placed. I'm good with it. And that's unfortunate, because it was very clear which way he was moving to us. But hey.
Hold up.
But you know what? If you'd been on high ground this whole time, it would have been so hard for him to pressure you, and you would have had such easy headshots on him the whole time as he was bouncing, as he was trying to move forward on your team. You'd have just been like, yep, you bob along like a top there, I'm going to keep headshotting you. And even if I don't hit the headshots, at least I'm going to reliably hit you from up here, and you can't put real pressure on me. Knee, shoot him in the knee. But we haven't sent out Hanzo yet. If we call for McCree to return and send out Hanzo, maybe arrow to the knee is the play. Temporal has the gym. That's about right. Reaper, that's enough. Come back. He's the gym owner, trainer, master.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, so you're here. You've got that.
Oh, excuse
Why?
me.
Why would I? No. I don't need to force a flash to eliminate Reaper. I can calmly just go, I'm going to force your Wraith by shooting at you from high ground. And then you're going to Wraith. Yeah, I'm probably not going to eliminate you, but you're going to Wraith. And that's fine with me. I don't need to be like, well, how do I eliminate you before you use your Wraith? I know, I'll flash you and eliminate you because you'll be stunned and you won't be able to Wraith. Why would I work that hard? Why would I spend those abilities? Why would I take these risks? I can absolutely just be like, no, I'll shoot you from up here, and then I'll turn over and shoot over here after you Wraith. Like, totally fine. Now, I'm in a worse position, and you can actually beat me. You can actually beat me now. There was almost no chance that you could beat me before. How far do I want to go with the Pokemon analogy? No, I won't. Okay.
Let's start over at the big. Group up with me. Group up. Join me.
So, okay, I'll go forward with it then. So it's like you were up here as, let's say you were up here as a Watermon in the rain, and you're like, yes, this high ground is your equivalent of rain, and you're like, yes, I have increased damage in the rain, etc., and that's a Firemon out there, and you're like, we got this. I know what I'll do to beat you is I'll dispel the rain. In fact, let's make it sunny day for you, and now I'll hop down and fight you. You know, that was the equivalent of what you did here. You were like, aha, I have the terrain advantage. The terrain high ground? No, I have it's rain, so that gives me a damage bonus, whatever, blah, 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 and I'm fighting something that's weak to me. And now I'm instead going to dispel that and replace it with your advantage. I'm going to get into your range. I'm going to have my partner cast Sunny Day to buff you and weaken me, and then we're going to fight. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? That's silly.
Ash here.
Temporal sucks. Reaper Chew and there's cream on. Join the stream to Temporal coaching Overwatch through Pokemon and rain statuses. There you go, Crunch. There you go. I think you see why, though. I mean, we've got our player being reviewed is named Kabutops here. And then Adam got us going with wild Pokemon behaviors, matching wild Reaper behaviors, where they just auto-select their moves and TP to high ground, then drop with Blossom. That's what they do, regardless of whether it makes sense.
Gonna make you feel better. Speed.
30 seconds remaining.
If we continue upon this trajectory, the less satisfying
It's the personal coaching for this pod review, exactly.
10 seconds remaining.
Clear out the fight. Give it a
Short time, I'll live with it. Good. Two-shot McCree. This is mostly jump time, so I don't care. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. So when it comes to this, what we're looking at is, we'll sort of do 3 things. So here's the thing. For your Reaper, the first thing that we want to go over, because this is going to help you with all heroes that you play, is going to be engagement timings. There's absolutely no reason for you to be teleporting up here and going in when 2 to 3 of your teammates are eliminated into a 3v6, 4v6, really 1v6 situation, because that's just wrong. So before you go in, you need to be paying attention. If you press tab, how many of your teammates are alive? You need to be paying attention to the feed over here of, okay, what's it gone like? Has there been more red or blue in the feed on the left side of it? Okay, does that mean we're ahead or behind? You don't want to jump into fights when you're safe. You don't want to go, let me go enter a fight where we're massively behind. Just wait for the next fight. Don't risk your life. Don't all in into bad fights. So please don't do that. This would be an engagement timing thing. This is going to help with all DPS heroes, all tank heroes, really all Overwatch heroes. So when you're playing Overwatch, you're looking, when you don't have time clock pressure, for example, where it's 2 seconds left, 6 seconds left, whatever, like you did in that last fight, you're not going to just jump into fights where you're massively disadvantaged. We don't want to do that. If we don't have objective pressure, time pressure, we're not going to do that. That's really important. So before you go into fights, all you have to do is go like, hey, let me take a quick look. I can see my teammates through walls. They're not here. Or let me press tab. I can see that 2 of my teammates are eliminated and 6 of them are alive. It's a little more complicated than that because there's respawn distances, but you can also supplement it with what's in the feed over here for when people got eliminated. So all of that helps, but you want a little more sense of what your team status is before you go in. That's going to help with all of your Overwatch understanding. Then when we get to Reaper specifically, I do want you playing tighter on corners, and I specifically want you trying to get fights like we talked about heavily here, where it's, hey, I'm on this corner that really punishes their tanks. If their tanks try to come out and punish me, they get shot in the back. If their tanks try to aggress, I shoot them hard in the side at very close range here. This is what we want. This is great. This is fantastic. If we were on defense, not offense here, this could be a situation where, hey, I'm going to lurk here. Or I'm going to lurk here, and I might open slightly to shoot out there, or I might not. I might just lurk here and be like, nope, if you try to walk in, I'm going to blow you up type thing. That's good for Reaper. You can get a little more aggressive. You can go, I'm going to get, hey, I'm going to shoot, etc., etc. And if I get pressured too hard, maybe I have to Wraith, and then I go back and now lurking here is what I'm doing. That can be a thing. But these are the types of positions that you're thinking about. Where you've got this hard cover, and you can shoot their front line, or you can shoot their front line if it aggresses. If you do shoot deep, you have cover available to go back to. If you get more aggressive than this, you walk past stuff, you walk in, etc., that's fine, but do it when your Wraith is available, and preferably do it when your team is pushing. So like this positioning stuff absolutely matters. And then when it was on second point here, again, you can do some lurking here. You can peek out here to shoot. Make sure it's when your team can also shoot, but you can also just lurk here if they don't know you're here and just sort of blow them up. If you shoot, great. If you want to go, hey, I'm going to drop, I'm going to try to blow someone up, I'm going to do that, and if I get trouble, I'm going to wraith out, that can make sense, but that's going to make less sense into teams that have hooks and flashbangs available. Okay. That's going to be your first big Reaper thing to work on, to really understand that positioning. Yes, we can shoot through our Rhine Shield, that's fine. Yes, we can take a bit of an off angle to shoot. No, we're not going to sit in the middle of a choke when they have hook available. We're not going to just trust that they're going to whiff hooks. We're not going to just trust that their McCree is just going to miss a bunch of shots when we're standing in the middle. We're going to be close enough to cover that we can do it. Or we're going to have been aggressing, and if we get in any trouble, we have our Wraith, and now we're going to have to play more passive on the corner. Third thing we'd get into would be another Reaper specific one, and it would be, hey, come on, understand how your Blossom works. Your Blossom is not this high burst damage move. Your Blossom is a relatively high sustained damage move, so we would like to get multiple targets with it in most situations. It's okay to get one target, but if it is going to be one target, let's make sure that one target doesn't have invulnerability, a stun, anything like that, and if they do, it's already off cooldown. That's really how we're thinking. If this had been like, hey, I shoot Reaper, I'm now out of ammo, so I Blossom to finish him because he doesn't have his thing, sure, that could have been a fine type situation. But that's not what we saw. That's not what we saw at all. So let's try to upgrade that. That's the least important of the things I've given you, though. And then when we move on to McCree specifically, please stop giving up your high ground. Please stop giving up your high ground. You did this multiple times, and your high ground is amazing. You don't need to give up your high ground until you've really established firm control of the point for your team, and then you can give up your high ground and be like, okay, now I'm trying to go do this work. But high ground is all sorts of things defensively in terms of, hey, I can pressure their McCree. Hey, I can pressure their Reaper, and their Reaper can't get at me. Be much more greedy with your high ground. If you run into situations where it's like, hey, we've cleared them all off the point, and now the opponents are standing here, and I can't see them, but my team has firmly gotten onto the point, well, then you have a decision to make. Am I defending my team by being here because now the opponents can't get on the point, or do I want to go up? And you could go up, but that's after you've effectively cleared the opponents off the point that you're thinking about going up and getting a position more like this, or really more like this type thing. So stay on this high ground longer than you are on this attack. So that's what I'm going to give you. This was mostly a Reaper review, so we're going to focus on that. And I'd worry much less about the Death Blossom thing than the other two things. But the way to do this is to work through these things one thing at a time with 5 to 15% of your brain power. Don't go full on, I'm going to try to implement all of this at once. You will overwhelm yourself. You will play poorly. That will work poorly for you, and you'll just not get much out of it. And also don't be like, okay, yeah, I'm supposed to be thinking about this positioning stuff, about having these angles to punish the front line, to be hard pressure on them, and then 3 games later, wait, what was I working on? Don't be like that either. You've got to actually keep it somewhere in the forefront of your mind, generally with 5 to 15% of your brain power, and work it through. That might take 5 games, that might take 30 games, that might take 50 games, that might take 10 games. Everyone's different on that, but keep some level of focus on it so that you can actually develop the proper habit. Once it's become a habit, then you move on to the next thing. We're trying to build these things as habits into your gameplay. Okay, if people have questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all of that good stuff. Okay. Buy Overwatch review, get Pokemon tips for free. Well, there's an idea. We could do something like that. I could do some Pokemon coaching. Temporal starts coaching Pokemon tournaments. I mean, I could. The problem is that it's not. I don't think the esport is big enough. I don't think that esports scene really is big enough for that to make sense, and it's such an individual thing, and while yes, there's a timer to it, it's the sort of thing that I don't think many people are going to want coaching for that. I don't think there's a big room for coaching for that, but maybe that's exactly what means there is room. Maybe that is the, hey, go pioneer this, go do something that a ton of isn't already being done. Maybe that is something that I should go do. Okay. I don't think there's enough of a scene there, unfortunately. Obviously, there's a big enough install base for Pokemon, but not that many people actually get deep into the competitive play. And they sort of have gated it in such a way where it takes after beating the game 20 plus hours to get to a level where you can really get into competitive play, which is a little unfortunate because the first coaching would be, we'll spend 20 plus hours doing this before you've even broken down the door type thing. Okay. Gold's trying to get ball. This was better than the last game. Okay. And Andros Gaming says, hi Temporal, can I have an off-topic question? Does it make sense to try to brush your tanks more when you are playing Symmetra against Pharmacy? How do I deal with Pharmacy as Sim? Yeah, so if you're playing Sim, what you're going to do is you're going to try to overwhelm and win the fight quickly. You're going to try to go, hey, we are going to go play from cover to cover. We're going to not let the Pharmacy spam us very hard, and then we're going to rush in and take the fight hard. And you can use your TP to help you jump from cover to cover. You can be like, hey, we're not giving the Pharmacy good spots to shoot at us. We're teleporting into the cover type thing. And then maybe we wait and we teleport into the cover again type thing. So you can absolutely do that, but then when the fight actually starts, you want it to be a fast brawl. You're trying to force a fast brawl. You're going cover to cover, not letting her do a bunch of work. And then when you're ready, you say go, and you run hard to take that fight with their ground team. Because in most cases, the Pharmacy still does have a ground team that you can beat, and if you beat the ground team, you're then not going to lose a 5v2 to the Pharmacy. Even if none of you are good heroes for hitting the Pharmacy, you are not going to lose a 5v2 to the Pharmacy in the overwhelming number of situations. So yes, it is, don't let the Pharmacy do a bunch of work before the fight starts, and then force the fight to happen in an enclosed way, using the point as pressure if you have to, somewhere where the opponents can't retreat very well, and you're looking to blitz the ground fight down if you're staying on Symmetra into the Pharmacy, and your partner is also something that doesn't check the Pharmacy well. And it might be something like, hey, you're playing Sim plus Reaper as an example, and you're playing Sim plus Reaper, and you go, okay, we're gonna come from here, we're gonna Lucio speed boost out, we're gonna run, we're gonna just blow up the fight on this, and hopefully we have something like a Diva that can zone out the Pharmacy for like 4 seconds while we do so. That would be fine with you. I'm also hoping you have a Lucio. Exactly. Thank you. Okay. No problem. No problem. If you guys have any more questions or comments, throw them up in chat now. Probably not Crunch. It's possible I'll do something later this evening, but I actually have some plans with people, so it's probably just these two today. And tomorrow might be a little light as well because I have a little bit of testing type stuff as well that I've got to deal with. So I'll do more obviously over the weekend. You guys know the drill there, but today and tomorrow might be a little light as a result. But yeah. Again, if you guys are enjoying the content, do hit that like button. If you guys want to catch these streams live, best way to do that is down in the Discord below. You can go ahead and go to get notifications and then react to get the watch roll, and then you'll get pings when I go live. Okay, looks like that's going to do it, and I'm not seeing anything more. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.